We have been exploring the beautiful Caribbean region for a while. We learned about all the countries in the Greater Antilles and leeward island chain countries in the Lesser Antilles. Today we are going to explore the first windward island country, Dominica. Don't confuse this country with Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is a completely different country in the Greater Antilles region of the Caribbean. This little island is known for its remarkable lush and diverse vegetation and wildlife and gained their nickname as the Nature's Island of the Caribbean. People believe that Christopher Columbus would still recognize this island as there hasn't been much changes. It is also the youngest island in the Lesser Antilles, and the Mother Nature is still working on the island as evident by the geothermal activities. Are you ready to find the island on the globe? As I mentioned before, it is located in the Windward Island chain in the Caribbean region. Its northern neighbor is Guadeloupe and the southern neighbor is Martinique. Both of them are French overseas territories. The capital is Roseau. It is located in the western side of the island and it is a major port. If you are familiar with my video, I usually follow a certain order. But in this video, I am going to switch up the order and see if it works better. The flag and coat of arms we are going to look at first as usual. Geography, climate. Then I'm going to bring in the history, followed by people and culture. Because I think it's very important to understand the history before we talk about the people and culture. And finally, economy. By the time you will finish watching this video, maybe, just maybe, you might learn more about this country than your own. Let's go look at the flag and then coat of arms. This is Dominica's flag. The green field represents the lush green vegetation of the island. The cross represents eternity and Christianity, whereas the three colors on the cross, yellow represents the natives, black represents the fertile soil, and the white indicates the pure water. The red color disc symbolizes justice. The 10 green stars represent the 10 parishes of Dominica. The Cicero parrot in the center is indigenous to the island and represent the flight towards the prosperity of the country. The purple color on the bird make this flag special as it is one of the only two national flags to have purple on it. The other one is Nicaragua's flag. You can barely see a purple on the rainbow. This is the coat of arms. Every single item on this coat of arms represents the country in one way or the other, similar to their flag. Let's look at the shield first. It is divided into 4 quarters by a cross. The cross represents the island's name Dominica, which means Sunday, as the island was discovered by Columbus on a Sunday. It's a church day. The coconut palm tree and the banana plant represent the historical agricultural sector and the income source for the island. The crapo, a frog known as mountain chicken, is a native species to the island and is now endangered. A calingo canoe with a sail represents the indigenous people of Dominica. The shield is supported by 2 Cicero parrots that are native to the island. On the top of the shield, on a wreath of silver and blue, a golden lion standing on the black rocky mountain. Below the shield is a national motto, after God and earth, which emphasizes the importance of the soil in the island. Now that you know the symbols of Dominica, let's move on to physical geography. Dominica covers about 750 square kilometers, making it the 174th largest country. 2/3 of the small island is covered in rainforest and has one of the most rugged landscapes in the Caribbean. Dominica is the newest Caribbean island. It was created by volcano about 26 million years ago. Island has 9 active volcanoes, one of the world's highest concentration of dormant volcanoes. One of them erupted back in 1997. Volcanic activities are still quite evident on the island. Most popular examples are Boiling Lake and Valley of Dissolution. Dominica's Boiling Lake is the world's second largest of its kind. Boiling is caused by the heat of the magma chamber beneath the lake. The Valley of Dissolution is a sulfurous valley of volcanic vent and hot spring. which prevent plants from growing, is a direct contrast to the surrounding rainforest on the nearby mountains. The highest point of the island is Mount Diablotin at 1,447 meters. Due to the high concentration of volcano, many of Dominica's beaches are black sand beaches. Dominica is water rich with over 365 rivers. Yeah, you can visit one river a day for the whole year. Some of them are clear, while the others have a gorgeous milky blue due to runoff minerals from the mountains. The longest and the deepest river is Leo. It has flooded many times. Freshwater Lake is the largest of Dominica's 4 lakes. It is located at about 700 meters above sea level. With all the flowing waters and mountains, waterfalls are common. There are many interesting ones. The most interesting one is, in my opinion, Trafalgar Falls, a twin fall cascade side by side into a pristine pool, affectionately called Mother and Father Falls. Now that you know the lay of the land, let's go check out the climate. Dominica's climate is tropical but cooled by northeast trade wind and heavy rainfalls. It is one of the most wettest places on earth. It rains throughout the year but rains more from June through October. Average rainfall along the east coast is about 5,000 millimeters, but exposed mountains receive up to 9,000 millimeters, but the west coast is only 2,000 millimeters. The average daytime temperature generally varies between 26 degrees Celsius in the rainy season to 32 degrees Celsius in the summer. However, the nighttime temperatures can drop to 13 degrees Celsius on the high peaks. Hurricanes and severe wind are common during the rainy season. As with other Caribbean countries, occasionally they can be devastating. If you are going to Dominica, don't forget to pack a raincoat. Now, the most interesting part, in my opinion, about Dominica, its history. Dominica probably first inhabited by Arawaks. Caribs came into the island in 9th century. They probably have driven out the Arawaks. Carib called the island Way Tukibili, which means tall is her body. Christopher Columbus spotted the island on his second voyage in 1493 on a Sunday. Named it Dominica, which means Sunday in Latin. Spanish tried to start a settlement, but the island Carib fought them off. Then in 1632, the French claimed the island again, and Carib wouldn't let them settle there. Eventually, the French mercenaries visited the island often, but still no European settlement. The island Caribs were holding their ground. They had one great advantage: their land. The rocky terrain and dense rainforest gave them a place to hide and attack. After many failed attempts in settlement, French and English agreed not to colonize Dominica in the 1600s and leave it as a neutral territory. But its natural resources attracted both English and French foresters. By 1690, French woodcutters from Martinique and Guadeloupe began to set up timber camps and established first settlement. Dominica was the last island to be colonized by Europeans in the Caribbean region. Then, a revolt in Martinique caused some French families to move to Dominica and settled on southern coast in 1715. French from Guadeloupe settled in northern coast in 1727. They started cultivating sugarcane, gradually developed coffee plantation. They brought in slaves from West Africa to work in the plantations. In 1761, during the 7-year war between French and British captured Dominica and French gave up the island to British under the Treaty of Paris in 1763. British established the Legislative Assembly the same year and only the European colonists were represented. However, with the help of French Dominicans, France recaptured the island in 1778 during the American Revolution, where British was busy fighting Americans. This was ended by the Second Treaty of Paris in 1783. the island was returned to British control. France invaded again in 1795 and 1805, but British were able to retain control. British started an English settlement in 1805. Finally, the slavery was ended with the Abolition Act of 1833. Many slaves from Guadeloupe and Martinique fled to Dominica. In 1838, Dominica became the first colony in the British West Indies to have an elected legislative control by an ethnic African majority. In 1871, Dominica became part of the Leeward Island Federation. The power of the black government and the people progressively eroded after this transfer. Then Dominica was transferred out of Leeward Island Federation in 1936 and governed as part of the Windward Islands until 1958. Then it joined the West Indies Federation. When the federation ended, Dominica became an associated state of the United Kingdom in 1967. Finally, on November 3, 1978, the Commonwealth of Dominica was granted independence by the United Kingdom. The independence gave them the freedom and to make their own destiny, but little to solve the problem stemming from centuries of economic underdevelopment compounded by severe impact of hurricane. However, the country is making progress. Let's zoom to the present and look at
people and culture.
Dominica's culture is mainly influenced by the Caribs, French, British and the African. As a result, it is a very colorful and festive society. It is evident in their festivals, language, food, art, dance and music. Here is a kicker. People of Dominica are called Dominicans, same as the people of Dominican Republic. If you are a local Dominican, I would love to hear from you. How do you feel about somebody calling you Dominican? Population of Dominica is about 72,000 people. It is the 10th smallest country in the world. The vast majority of Dominicans are African descent at about 87%. There is a growing number of mixed population at 9%. Native Kalingo or the Carib population is about 3%. It's a small, just over 2,000 people, but much bigger than the other neighboring islands. Most live in the Kalingo territories. You can visit the Kalingo model village, Bruana Arte, and experience the culture. There is a small population of white Dominicans at about 1%. Most of them are descents from French or British. Most of them. Actually, 94% of them are Christians. Most of them Roman Catholics, but it also include Protestant and few of the Seventh-day denominations. Other religions are folk religions. It's either followed by Kalingo people or the African descents. English is the official language. It is universally spoken and understood. In addition, Dominican Creole, it's a French-based language, is widely spoken. Dominica has a relatively large number of centenarians. That is, people who are over 100 years old. It's about 3 times more than the developed countries. Music and dance are very important facets of Dominica's culture. The annual Independence Day celebrations display variety of traditional song and dance. Every village has its own event, but the most notable festivals are Carnival and the World Creole Music Festival. Getting to Dominica is an adventure itself. This country doesn't have an international airport, so you can either fly to Barbados or Antigua and take a small plane from there to one of the 2 regional airports in Dominica. Or you can take a Caribbean cruise, and most of them has a land day in Dominica. Let's go see how this country is doing financially.
Economy.
Dominica's GDP is 841 million. It is the 3rd smallest economy in the world, and the GDP per capita is about 11,000 and ranked 119 out of 195 countries. It is the poorest country in the Lesser Antilles. Financial services such as offshore banking and payment processing are significant contributors to the economy. The country is becoming a major financial services center in the past decade or so. Dominica's tourism is in its infancy compared to other Caribbean countries. For many years, its rugged terrain and lack of wide sandy beaches and underdeveloped infrastructure prevented large-scale tourism development. In recent years, Dominica has successfully marketed itself as nature island of the Caribbean and attracted eco-tourists interested in landscape and wildlife. Actually, it was going really well until the COVID-19 pandemic. Hope it picks up once the pandemic is over. Agriculture is on the decline and the government is diversifying the sector by promoting coffee, aloe vera, cut flowers and exotic fruits such as mango, guava and papaya. International Monetary Fund praised the government of Dominica for successful economic reforms, but also pointed out the remaining challenges, including the need for further reduction in public debt, increased financial sector regulations, and market diversification. Official currency is Eastern Caribbean dollar. However, United States dollar is widely accepted. Major import and export partner is Japan. About 40% of the transaction happens with Japan. I hope you enjoyed watching and learning about Dominica. It's a great country, isn't it? Next, we are going to look at St. Vincent and Grenadines. If you like to learn about other countries, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like this video. Thank you.